Today we're cutting the frame back apart of the S10, along with 37 other different things, which we're going to do them all at once. Why not, right? Like, let's just make it more fun.
All right, guys, this video is gonna be scattered. We are all over the place. We are doing 3,000 different things. We got Moose in the shop. We're working on the cab. We're working on the door. We're working on the bed. We're working on the frame. We're getting the new leaf spring boxes installed and welded into the frame. We're doing body work and paint. We're all over the place. Oh, we got seat brackets getting worked on. Just all over the place. So stick around if you want to fast forward and you're only here for the leaf spring box install. That's about the second half of the video. It's a little interesting. All right, guys, enjoy.
S10 frame is back in. We're playing musical body parts today, I tell you what. But it's all gonna work out. So we need to get this back on the lift side because we have to unbolt the rear end, get the frame back up in the air. Because if you watched my last video, you saw that we have some new suspension parts that we have to install to build the ultimate leaf spring drag setup. So next on the list that we have to get done right now is we are going to flip the cab up, and I have no idea how I'm doing that by myself carefully, but I'm going to try and do it by hand. We might have to use the tractor again, but at least we have the equipment to make it happen. You can definitely do this with an engine hoist and a buddy, but as you can see, help! I need help! Stole that from Vice Grip Garage, if you can't tell. Derek, you're awesome. Keep doing everything you're doing. Huge props to you. I've learned a ton from you. But just like Derek, there ain't nobody around. So we are solo, like always. I don't even have the shop manager to tell me that I'm doing anything wrong because he's running errands with his mama today. So let's see if we can pick this thing up.
That went way better than I ever could have thought. With the bed up, it was cooking hot out there, and I don't want to spray Raptor Liner when the metal's like 100-something degrees either. So we got our paint booth up, aka my broken old awning that I forgot I had. Let's see if the wire wheel will take the grease off of this thing.
Well, I had every intention of Raptor lining this. I said it a dozen times. But when I just went to get my Raptor liner out, I realized I was all out of black Raptor liner. So, change of plans. We have this Bristol 2X paint and primer in one enamel, so it should be very durable, in gloss black. And since we have some bare metal and like that light surface rust that we already sanded and ground through, but it's still there a little bit, this paint and primer in one should work out really well here. So we're going to slam 2 to 3 good coats on here. I got 1.5 cans. So We'll see how far we can get. We'll hit all the edges, come back, get all the hard to reach spots on the first coat, and then we'll start laying coats on this. And I do have, I think, a can or two of Raptor enamel paint in gloss black. So if we don't have enough of this, we can switch to that. But this is a paint and primer in one, so this is what we're going with first. Coming out awesome. That's 3 coats of black enamel. Regular spray paint doesn't hold up very well, but the black enamel or any color enamel spray paint actually works pretty good. I've had really good luck with it. So anyway, there's the 3 coats, nice and even. We're under the canopy right now, so the sun's not on it, so it's kind of hard to see, but really happy with how it all came out. Got nice down underneath all the seams really good, in all the corners. There we go. I gotta actually point the camera at what I'm showing you guys, but we gotta let this set up for 10 minutes, and I think I'm gonna hit it with some coats of clear and show you that. Baby steps. God, it's so hot today. If you can't tell, I feel like crap right now. The sun and the heat's killing me. Another important thing we got to get done is the Rhodes Racing core support. We have to get that primed up, and we got to get that painted also. So while the clear coat, first coat, is drying out there, we're going to scuff this thing down, hit it with some paint prep, and get a coat of primer on the back side, and then we'll go hit that. We'll come back, we'll hit a coat of primer on the other side, let that set up, and hopefully get a couple coats of paint on this tonight. And now to add one more thing into the mix. While the primer's drying and the clear coat's drying, we're gonna start taking apart our doors. So we've got these wires to pull out that go to the speaker. We got that out. We gotta take this old sound deadening stuff off. Now, one thing I'm curious about is the weight that we're gonna take out of this door. So what I'm gonna do is actually save everything we cut out of the door and weigh it. At least I'm gonna try to. I've had those intentions before and I get sidetracked and totally forget. But we're gonna make an attempt at it. We are leaving the stock glass and the door handle and door lock assembly, but the rest of it can get cut up. So I just gotta pick and choose where and what I'm cutting up. But the speaker is definitely coming out. That has rivets in it, so we're gonna drill out the rivets and yank it out. Got a 3/16 drill bit. We're not trying to be fancy. Looks like somebody tried this already because there's a drill bit broke off in there. Maybe we can't drill that one. There's one. Scott Rod Fabrication door panel. This is their standard bead roll. They also have a more decorative one that goes at an angle, but look them up. Nice and rigid. Once this all gets secured down, I'm gonna put a little, just by my choice, I'm gonna take a very thin single-sided foam tape and put it around the perimeter just so there's no rattles or anything, but you rivet these on. But like I said, I think I'm gonna be doing a custom install with this, so you guys will have to stick around and stay tuned, but it's gonna look pretty cool. I already ordered the extra stuff. What is going on, everybody? We're back in the shop tonight. It's 9 o'clock at night. I think it's Tuesday. It's about 9 o'clock Tuesday. We are going to be working on doors coming up soon. I don't know if it'll be in this video or not, but check this out. Look how nice that came out. I mean, that looks
absolutely awesome. Super happy with the paint underneath. Like I said, we were going to Raptor Line it, but we didn't have the bottles of Raptor Liner. So I came over here and my seat brackets were raw steel and my shifter mount. I want to get a coat of paint on these, but I was like, man, it'd be nice to Raptor Line them because they're going to get beat up and stuff bang against them and everything else. And the Raptor Liner looks good. So I think I'm going to Raptor Line these. So I just picked up a can of the spray instead of the actual air gun. So I haven't used this yet. So we'll see how this lays on. Hopefully it lays on nice because I don't want to try grinding all this off if it doesn't. So let's see what it looks like. Oh, this stuff actually sprays really good out of the can. That's a pleasant surprise. I was genuinely concerned about that. All right, pretty happy with that. Take a look. It's not too textured. It laid on really nice and smooth. Like I said, it's just a thin coat. So we'll have to hit it with another coat and that will even flatten it out a little bit more, but awesome. All right, first coat. Already looks so much cleaner and nicer. So that's just one coat of primer. And like I said, we scuffed it all down with 320, cleaned up any of the filler, and then did use a paint prep spray, wiped it down real good, got all the dust off, and then this is the primer we're using. Had really good reviews. I hadn't used it before, but it sprays really nice. So I'm pretty happy with this so far. We'll let that set up. I think it's like 5 minutes or something like that, 10 minutes. I gotta look at the instructions. And then hit it with second coat. So in the nature of doing 77,000 different things at the exact same time, the Raptor Liner seat brackets are almost done. The front firewall second coat of primer is drying. The back of the cab first coat of etching primer is drying. So we're gonna start working on the frame now too. We gotta get this thing up in the air. We gotta unbolt the rear leaf spring mounts on both sides so we can push the rear end out of the way. Oh, and the anti-roll bar. So we're gonna get this thing up in the air, get that pushed out of the way, see if we can balance this thing on the lift so we can start working on them rear leaf spring buckets. If I could talk, that would help too. I think it's the paint fumes are starting to get to me because I feel really good right now. Let's go to work.
All right, we got the front leaf spring bolts out. We got the rear leaf spring bolts out, but we have these two here to pop out on both sides. This slider box kit is designed to be a bolt-in installation, which we did. We are going to weld this later, but I want to make sure everything is dialed in before I weld all that in. So right now that's just all bolted in. We'll get those last 4 bolts out, and then we can lift this thing up in the air. Roll the rear end right on out. Out. All right, last but not least, we got to get down there and unbolt the anti-roll bar arms. And then we are ready for liftoff. I'm exhausted. Oh, we got to get back over and do the second coat of primer. It's flashed off. And there we have it. So, first coat of etching primer. This is the second coat of sandable, fillable primer, filler primer, whatever you want to call it. We're going to tape this off after and repaint it black because it was faded out and crappy, but I think it looks pretty good. What do you guys think? There is a spot here. I didn't get in and sand it real well. You can see the joint. So once this fully dries, I'll go back in there. I'm gonna sand down that spot, rebondo that a little bit. This one came out really nice. You see the highs and lows in where the bondo was, but overall it's nice and smooth to the touch. This is that dent I was talking about, and now that it's primed, it's really bothering me. So I'm probably gonna end up bondoing that spot too, just to smooth that dent out, because I just like making more projects for myself. Well, we gotta go back to the truck so we can finish unbolting the rear end. See you over there. Now we get to the fun stuff. Cutting apart the freshly painted frame. Yay. No. Well, what we got to do is, these are welded rivets. So we're going to grind that one off. Whoop, there you go. Now you can see it. And also grind that one off. And then we should be able to remove this bracket and take our template, put that on there, trace it, and start cutting. But before we do any of that, we are going to grab a pole jack, put it under the rear end, and put another one under the front end, just to make sure this thing stays nice and stable, because I don't want the frame twisting and moving around, nor do I want it falling off the lift, not the frame, off the lift. That. I got way too many things going on at once here. Back to work. Well, it's the next day. It is now 8:30 p.m. on Friday, and we got those brackets ground off yesterday. Now we have the template. So this is the template. These are the two old welded studs, basically, that are holding the old bracket on the side. And those line up with these two holes here. And then these two holes in the frame that are original holes there index right there. So what we got to do is throw that right on there. Those line up. The two factory holes in the frame line up. And then what we're going to do is come across here. And we're going to trace this right on the frame all the way around. Make sure we get a good mark. Come back. Make sure we get the radiuses and the corners looking right. And then we're going to mark the center of this hole, because we have to drill this hole out right here and bring you guys in. So this hole right here, we're going to drill. And then this line, we're going to cut straight down here. We're not going to actually take this tab out of the existing frame. We're just going to drill a hole here. This line will get brought straight down, and then the rest of this gets cut out. Well, this line here too, this will come straight down also. So that, we're going to use this as a straight edge. That goes like that. We'll put a mark there, here, and then we need to connect the dots on this. Something along the lines of that right there. Put a nice mark here. And we cut that out. Bang, boom. Nice and easy, right? Quick. My customers always tell me, oh, you should be able to do that in a couple minutes, right? No, that's not how it works. All right, first thing I'm going to do is pop this hole in, get this drilled. Beautiful. Now, we got to get her on. That's PPE. Safety first. I went to the barber, got all lined up today. I don't look like Sasquatch no more. Still ugly, but at least I don't look like Sasquatch. So that's a plus. We're gonna roll with that. I also took a square and I made a straight line on the bottom of my frame, so we're not cutting that crooked. That is an important cut also. By the way, very important thing to remember here. You need to support this frame or it will fold in half when you do this. So we have the lift up, but we dropped it on the lock arms. And I also have the whole entire rear of the frame supported by that pole jack. And I also have a pole jack in the front of the truck also. So that is what we're left with. We will clean up the edges with this guy. So we'll do that all the way around there. Make sure everything looks nice, and then we will test fit the piece. Attaboom. Let's hold this up in here. All right. Oh, we got one more spot right here. Clean this up. Now let's bolt this thing in. Get a bolt in here and one over here. That should hang itself. Again, these are just temporary to hold it in place. Oh wait, you're looking at the ground. Stop looking at my ass. There, that's better. All of this gets fully welded all the way around. There's also gussets that we have to weld on that Matt provides with the kit. He really tries his best to make this a very user-friendly, because for people like me that have no clue what the hell they're doing and they just figure it out as they go, he makes it really easy for us. Makes us look like we know what we're doing almost. I appreciate that, Matt. You happen to watch this video? I appreciate you. Make me feel good about myself. I know how to build cool stuff, but really I'm just kind of following directions. This is when I should probably have all my air and battery tools around and wrenches and stuff to make this go a lot faster. But hey, all right, there's a little play here. I gotta snug those up, hold them in place, but that's what she looks like. So we gotta go and burn this thing all the way in. Then we might leave the bolts in, but I'll probably just take them out. These three, probably just take them out once this is fully welded. And then down here, we can weld this to there. We got a little bit of a gap there. I don't know if you guys can see. There you go. A little bit of a gap, but we can fill that. And there's also a gusset that goes under here. We'll be able to get in here and weld a little bit of that. And then this side here, we'll probably just lay a little piece of metal in there, because I don't want to, I could bend the frame up a little here, but I don't want to do that. So this gets welded, and it's a little big of a gap, so I'll probably just cut a sliver of metal, slide it in there, help it all bond together. But this looks great. Super happy with that. Oh, holding that up, close that gap up a little bit. It's really not that bad. Cool. That's what it looks like before. That's what it looks like after. Another thing to note with these, more rambling for you guys, is what I planned on doing. Remember the old leaf spring mount was under here, right? Single spot hung down here. Well, this frame flexes. I might have mentioned this already, but we'll mention it again. This frame actually flexes, and the leaf spring mount bends the frame here. So I was gonna make a bracket that welds in here, but we don't need to anymore, because there's a gusset that he supplies, which I'll show you right now. And with movie magic, I'm back. Here's that gusset. See? Fancy, pretty. Look, that goes just like that. So this gets stitch welded right to the frame all the way up. Gets welded into here, all the way around and down. Gets welded behind here. This is an angle type gusset in this bracket. This gets all burned in. And then he has a filler piece that gets welded in right here, like that. That's welding. We got some grinding to do on this, and then this will be pretty much all prepped in. But first thing, I'm gonna probably put a clamp on this piece here, crank this up, tighten these bolts down so that's locked in right where I want it to be. We'll grind all that down, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Can't say enough how much I love that rear. That is a fat rear, and I love it. We got this all cleaned up. We got it lifted up. See this nice tight gap pretty much all through here. So we're gonna throw some tack welds on here to lock this in. We got the MIG set up. I dropped this before. Oh, man, getting old sucks. That drops right on there. And as you can see, this has just a little bolt. We just gotta push that in when we weld it. But this will all get burned in like that. We got all the metal nice and clean. So this will get welded here, around, down the top, bing, bang, boom. Beautiful. I can't weld. So I'm gonna do my best here. And if I don't like the way it's coming out, because this is a very important part, I am going to revert back to the phone call and assistance. And I am going to call my buddy Matty, who always saves my ass when it comes to welding, because he's phenomenal and he's one of my best friends. So, but we'll see how I do. Matty, I need you. It looks like poo. That one was really bad. That didn't stick to anything. I didn't have it turned up enough, but I don't think it's horrible. But that was the zoom. That top one's the first one with the heat was. But that one burned in, but it's just too globby and big. And this is kind of an important part. I need your help. What else is new? Love you, brother. Like I said, I'm just gonna throw some small welds around in different spots just to lock it all in. I don't want to burn it all in one shot anyway, because then you get movement, because this frame is not as thick as this bracket either. So it's a little trickier to weld. So we'll see what happens. See what happens. That's all we can do, right? See what happens. Dusty. Clean that off a little bit. Like my new welding helmet. America. Oh, my mic's not on. I wonder how this has been recording, because, sorry guys, but I'm not gonna re-record it either. I love you guys, but I got work to do. So if audio is a little off for a couple things, I hope you bear with me and know the best. Get a ground set up here. I know we have to do that. And I turned the gas on this time too. If you watch one of my previous videos, I was wondering why I was welding worse than I'm even used to for me. And it was because I forgot to turn the gas on. So gas is on. We'll get a ground on. I got some bare metal right there.
I am not getting any penetration, so I gotta play with my settings for a second. I played with the settings a little bit, and that weld was the first one I did, and as you can see, it didn't get any penetration. This was the next one I did. Much better. So I threw a tack there. I got a better tack on there and there. And then over here, we threw one down low. We threw 3 little ones up top. We burned one in there and one in over there. I think I'm gonna make the call, and maybe I'll still try to weld this when Matt's here. But Matt, save me. Matt! He's not here yet. We're gonna work on this side. So, for example, old side, new side. Much prettier, much stronger, much more adjustable. I like it a lot. All right, guys, well, that about wraps it up for this video. Moose and I are tired. We had enough. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this one. I know we were all over the place. We are working on so many different things all at the same time because we are on a massive time crunch to get the truck back together so that it can go out and get the cage done. We're doing a 25/3 cert cage in this, full custom cage. It's gonna be awesome. I gotta get everything painted and put back together. So I'll show you over here real quick. This is the semi-finished product, but we got this side all tacked in. You guys saw the other side's all tacked in. See, I just finished getting this one all together. In the next video, we are going to bolt the rear end back in. We will have the boxes finished welded. And my intentions are to get the cab and the bed back on the chassis so that we actually have a truck. So we're gonna be doing some paint work in the next video. We're gonna be finishing up the framework. That means all of the suspension is 100% done except for rear shocks, which I am not ordering until the truck is all put together because I wanna take measurements, I wanna get ride height set up, I want everything dialed in before I order the custom rear shocks from Brian over at Madman Racing. We'll be doing double adjustable AFCOs just like the front, but that is gonna wait until the very end. But tell me what you guys think. Is this not the baddest leaf spring setup you can do in an S10 truck? Because I think it's pretty close if it isn't. We got all the adjustability that you can get out of leaf springs and all the traction aids to do multiple surfaces, dial this thing in for any condition. I'm super pumped. I hope you guys are enjoying the build. If you are, do me a favor, subscribe and share the video. Share with some of your friends that might find this interesting. I'm really trying to get to the 500 subscribers by the end of July. And number 500, get a free t-shirt. So if you guys haven't seen them, I don't know if this works. Here, let's do this. Nothing stays stock. Hope you guys can see that. I'm trying to do things behind my back. We're just having some fun here. I'm really enjoying this build, and honestly, this is by far the most in-depth build I've ever done, and I'm really enjoying it, and I think it's coming out phenomenal. Do me a favor, let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment and tell me what you would do different if this was your truck, and if you like what I'm doing. If you have any questions, feel free to message me, leave a comment, whatever. And if you want one of these shirts or one of these hats, let me know. We'll have them up for sale. Setting up a website. I got some more merch on the way, so you'll be able to order this stuff and a bunch of other cool designs I have coming out. I'm really looking forward to it. Long before I even thought about doing YouTube, I always had some cool shirt designs, and I also use next level shirts, not those cheap, baggy, horrible fitting and just nasty feeling t-shirts. I hate those things. We have good quality shirts, good quality hats, and I want you guys to enjoy this with me. Hopefully you do. Anyways, I appreciate you all. Thanks for sticking around. Remember, nothing stays stock. I am out.